Hello, hello, hello.
Hi,
Hey,
hello. It's good to see you finally.
good to see you too. Oh
Yes,
my God, it has been what, a few months since we did Own Your Truth?
it's been a few months, but we're back. Things look
Yes,
a
we
little
are.
different. The casts look a little different, but
Yes, we do.
we're
Yes,
back.
we do.
On your
Yes,
truth 2.0.
uh, I like it. I like it.
Yes.
Hey. Well, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, I am Dr. Asir, but most people know me as the real Asir. And I'm going to let Mr. Brian Keith introduce himself like only he can.
Yes. Well, I am Brian Keith, event planner and event designer to many people, many stars, many people that you may know. So that's who I am.
Well, look, we're going to go into a little bit more about ourselves, especially for those people that are tuning in for the first time.
Yes.
So, I would like for you to explain what is an event planner, because most people are just think they walk into an event and they just see the tables all nice and set up and the chairs all decorated.
Right.
So, tell us a little bit more about that.
So I am an event planner, event designer, which I have done, I like to say all my life, because as a kid, I was planning my own birthday parties with my parents. They thought I was just being a spoiled child, which I was.
You're
But
not, so you mean to tell me you're not spoiled?
I mean, it depends on the situation and the person, but it's okay. And so for many years, I have been a part of something planning
Mhm,
wise.
mhm.
My first event or first wedding, let me say my first wedding I did, I was 18 years old, had no idea what I was doing, but a friend asked. And from there, things just kind of grown. So I plan, I organize, I manage people, I manage my clients, their people, vendors. I design, I manage. It's a lot of work, but when I tell you, it brings me so much joy and happiness. Now you see the beautiful pictures, but it's a
Mhm,
lot of work. So
mhm.
you have to love what you do, whatever it is. But I absolutely love what I do, and I want to change it for the world.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact that our new platform talks about manifestation,
Yes.
all of that plays a part in someone having a vision.
Yeah.
And then you're able to catch that vision and
Help
then
manifest it.
manifest it in the
Yeah.
physical.
Yes.
Well, a little bit about me for those of you that don't know. I am the real seer. I have been in the industry for over 20 years. I started off modeling, in fact, modeling as a hair model. And then someone saw me walk down the street of downtown Atlanta and asked if she could take pictures of me as a hair model. And I did. And then that kind of led me to get the bug about wanting to be in the industry. And here again, seeing myself in the magazines and saying one day I'm going to be a centerfold in a magazine,
Mhm.
and being able to say whatever I wanted to do. I always wanted to be an actress. In fact, my mom named me after an actress, and here it is, I am one.
Yeah.
Um, it's just the whole idea of me saying I want to be in a magazine. I was in a magazine, and then calendars happened, and then I said, well, you know what? I'm going to be a guest on someone's radio show. And then I end up having two shows at the same time at a radio station here in Atlanta, and then voiceovers. And fast forward now, people have seen me in films. Like I said, I've been centerfold in several magazines, first feature model in several magazines. And now I am Dr. Asir after getting my doctorate, life coach. One of the most rewarding jobs I have right now is owning my own business. TRA, of course, the realist here. TRA, Renewed Mind Coaching and Consulting. I consult startup businesses on how to get set up, with starting their business. And then I also talk to those individuals that want to have a show or have an idea for a show, and we sit down and like you said, we talk about what they want, and then we help it manifest and help it happen. So I do a lot of things in the area of really co-creating and manifesting, which is what this show is about.
Yes.
So are
Yep.
you liking the new format of actually taking this to a journey where we're helping other people manifest their dreams and their visions?
Well, I think it's time, one, and it's something that I didn't really ask for. It
What do you
just,
mean you didn't ask for it?
I didn't, how we ask for things. We ask God, the universe for things. I didn't ask to teach people about manifestation. It happens, and it happened because I was working on something for me. And sometimes how we think it's for us, but it's not for us. It's really for other people.
Yeah.
And so when I started to learn about manifestation, how it works, just all the things, I started to help other people. And actually, that was more rewarding than even learning how to even bring in the manifestation that I wanted in my life, which is why Manifestation Week was created. And you was a part of Manifestation Week. So,
Yeah, tell us about Manifestation Week.
So Manifestation Week. So last year, like many of us, I was going through depression. Okay. Never really talked about it. Never really was open about it. I tried to hide it, like many people say, no, I'm not depressed. No, I'm not down. I'm not sad. But I mean, what do you expect when the whole world shuts down? Work is slow. Some people wasn't working. It was just so many things. And so I had to figure out a way to bring myself into a place of joy, happiness. And so I started meditating. From there, I started doing more research on meditation and what does it mean? How does it help? And then I was like, wait a minute, I can meditate, and I can meditate on what I want in my mind and bring it to, oh, hold on, this is good. So I started doing the meditations and in my mind creating what I wanted. To get up, nothing would happen, and I would feel the same way. And so I started to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And what I realized was there was so many different components to manifestation that I didn't know. Yeah. Which is why one day I got up and it was just bothering me. So I'm like, God, why are you telling me to reach out to people and say, be a part of Manifestation Week? I don't want to do Manifestation Week. I'm depressed, I'm sad. I don't even know what I'm doing. I didn't. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to get dressed up because, we wasn't going anywhere. So
that's right.
Clothes anyway. I got dressed up. I did a video and I told people what I wanted to do. I wanted to do Manifestation Week for 2 weeks. And in that time, as I learned how to bring in those manifestations to my life with visual, speaking, feeling, and actually believing that it can happen without constantly thinking about it, then I said, we're on to something. So people started to tell me, Brian, these manifestations are coming in my life like crazy. People were saying that I haven't got taxes in years, but it happens.
Look, I'm one of those people.
You know what I'm saying? Unexpected money, just promotions on jobs. And these are things that I've heard people say, but I'm watching them happen. And not only did I watch them happen, but they happen for me. And so, we'll talk more and more about it. But, the only thing that I can say to people, and I keep repeating myself over and over and over, it works. It really but you does. Have to let it work. You cannot, think, speak, believe you can have something because it don't happen in 2 seconds, the next day, the next week, or the same month. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's going to happen because it didn't happen for me when I did Manifestation Week. And I'm not gonna lie. Can I be honest? It's called
this is called Own Your Truth.
I was a little pissed off in the beginning. I'm like, oh God. I get up every morning. I write down assignments for everybody to do. I put on my good clothes. Sometimes it was from my neck to my waist, and below was a little strange because I was in the house. Okay, I was in the house. And so I'm like, I'm doing all these things, and all these people are telling me, Brian, I received unexpected money. Brian, I received a promotion. Brian, I received a man or woman. And I'm like, well, okay. Went through for 2 weeks and I cried. I was happy for everybody, genuinely happy and crying for people because I'm watching this happen before my eyes. And I just forgot about it. But I was still doing the assignments with everybody else. Yeah. And what do we say? We did this in April.
We did.
May, June, July, August. 4 months later. 4 months. Now for minutes, for seconds, for hours, 4 months. It was 4 months. Then I started to see things happen in my life because one, I forgot about it. I really did. Yes. I just went about my life and just forgot about it and kept living and kept doing the work. that I
Yes.
was teaching everybody else. And 4 months later, all the things happened. But we'll get into it. You know, I get
Yeah,
excited.
we're gonna talk about that
I get
because
excited. We'll
oh
talk
my
on the show.
gosh. Yes, 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 yes. Well, I cannot wait to dig into that. And I hope everyone will enjoy this new format.
Yes.
Make sure you leave your comments and your questions below, and we will answer those questions and comments. There's going to be so many exciting opportunities
Mhm.
for us to meet you. We plan on going live,
Yes.
having a live audience. There's just so much in store that from just us connecting
Hmm.
and being able to connect on such a spiritual level. Oh, it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
simply amazing.
Yeah.
But we have to move on to our next part of the show, and that is drum rolls, please. Iconic moments with
Yes.
celebrity event planner Brian Keith.
So this is probably one of my favorite segments because it's good to know who believes what we
Yeah,
believe and what
yeah,
most of you are going to start believing. 'Cause I'm telling you,
yes,
it's really, really an amazing thing to
yes,
know how to bring in what you want in your life. And so one of
yes.
the first people that I want to talk about in iconic moments is Oprah Winfrey. A lot of us love Oprah. I know I do. Oprah, if you're watching, if you're listening, I would love to come to your home and have Super Soul Sunday with you in your garden. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, okay? We're manifesting that, okay, for me and Oprah. But um, before Color Purple, which became a huge deal, like it comes on right now, I am going to watch it like I've never seen it before, right? Oprah went and she wanted to get the role of Color
Mhm.
Purple. And did she know she was getting the role that she was
No,
playing?
she
I
did
can't remember.
not. She did not. She actually was reading the book over and over and had told people
Hmm.
to read the book over and over again. But in
Hmm.
her mind, she said she would love to play in a film
Right.
about Color Purple.
Yeah.
And then she went on to say that, she got this script, and the name of it was not Color Purple.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
yes, and she went to audition for it, and um, long story short, it ended up being
The
that
Color
she
Purple.
actually was in the Color Purple.
Which, Oprah, she's always believed in the law of attraction. The law of
Yes,
attraction, manifestation, same
yes.
thing.
Mhm.
And we talked about a little bit earlier what happened when she went to the auditions and auditioned. She walked away worried, you
And she
know,
did get it,
did
yeah.
I get it? Did I do good? Are they going to call? And she worried about it, and she worried about it until she realized that God in the universe is with her always. God in the universe is with all of us
Yes,
always. And
yes,
all you have to do is talk to the universe and talk to God. I'm telling you, they listen and they will give you what you want. And when she let it go, she said they called her for the part.
mhm,
She also made a quote. She said, "The way you think creates reality for yourself."
mhm, mhm.
And it's so easy for us to think bad thoughts, negative
Yes,
thoughts,
yes,
feel those negative things. Why is it so easy? I don't know, but it's so easy to think negative, but it's hard for us to think positive. But what you think creates your reality. And it's so true.
well,
It's
do you think it's
manifestation.
because you're surrounded by so much negativity all the time on the news? You
Right.
know, it's the stories of something that's so positive on the news is probably like this,
Yeah.
and everything that's so negative is
Yeah.
like this, and you're
Yeah.
just like, that's all you're hearing
Yeah.
anytime you're trying to watch the news, or you walk in the grocery store and you see the newspaper right there at the front door.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're surrounded by so much
So
negativity.
negativity, so much negativity. And to start to get that positive muscle, it's like going to the gym. It really is.
Yeah.
I always tell people protect your energy, protect your
Yes.
thoughts. And I
Yes.
promise you, if you do that, you will see a change.
Yes.
And I mean, Oprah, she, always have talked about the law of attraction.
Yes.
Um, for years. So it's not something that we just started. It's not something that just happens. This is something that's been going on for years and years and years. So many books, so much literature. We just don't talk about it enough. We don't.
Man, I can tell you where I was when The Secret came
The
on the
Secret.
Oprah
Yeah.
Winfrey show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I sat there and
Yeah.
I could not move
Yeah.
until the last panelist. And she said that the show was over. I could not move. I was so enthralled in the conversation.
Yeah.
But still, watching that and being taken in by that, and you know that it's true, you know it. But then what happens? You buy the DVDs, you buy the workbook, and life happens again. And guess what? You fall right back into that cycle of forgetting
You
that
fall back.
you can control your
You just have to
reality.
get back into it. You just have to get back into it because I do it. And what I want people to understand that's watching, that's listening, we are human. And that's one of the things, help me, Lord, because I might get in trouble. Trouble for saying this, but I'm saying it.
Yeah, go ahead on. This is called Own Your Truth. And we are all owning our truth. That's the
Listen.
only way you're going to get somewhere. If you got to own your truth.
And people have to understand that you might not be the only one thinking this way, but this is one of the reasons why I had an issue with some churches that I've attended, because the pastor seems like he is, something different, bigger, better than us, and he don't have no issues. And not just, in the churches, but many places. But anyway, some days I don't feel like it. Some days I don't feel it. Some days, I have to catch myself because I'm starting to say negative things. And I promise you start saying negative things, you're going to think negative, you're going to feel negative, you're going to have a negative day. And that's why a lot of times people are walking around here sad, mad, depressed, talking about you, use up their time and their energy going through social media to see who can they dog out today, who can they today, because they're miserable. You're thinking miserable, you're speaking miserable, you're feeling miserable, and that's why you're miserable. And that's one of the things, I tell people, you have to massage your faith muscles, you have to massage your belief muscles, you have to massage your manifestation. Everything that we have, it's a muscle. And so if you're doing it every day, I promise it will become easier and easier. And when you fall out of it, you'll fall right back into it, because now it's a muscle that you're used to working out. So it's just working out that positive muscle. That's it. Yeah.
And there are steps to that. And that's what this show is about. It's about us telling you that it actually really does work, and it has worked for us. And even with us spiritually being connected, and we start talking about manifestation, we start seeing celebrities, that's what Iconic Moments is about. That's what this segment is going to be about. It's going to let you know that when you see those celebrities on television, they have highs and they have lows, but they were able to speak what they wanted, or sit there and visualize, or see themselves on a stage, and hearing the sound and being in the moment of the crowd to the point that it actually happened. Now, let me say this, those iconic moments that we're going to talk about, some of them are going to be funny, and some of them are not always going to be the happy moment, because you have to remember, you not only manifest a positive, but you manifest the negative, because baby, there are some things that I manifested when help me, woosah, that I wish I could put that stamp on it, put that seal on the call the mailman and say, return that back to sender, baby.
Yeah. That's why you have to be careful what you think, what you feel, because and that's all with relationships, I had to learn how to stop asking for a certain person, the right person, and then be clear on what I want in that right person. Because a lot of times I have prayed for an individual and I'm like, what in the hell? To me.
Look, that's
what I asked for it.
What my stepdad said. He said, what the hell was you thinking?
I asked for it.
I couldn't say nothing. I had to own it. I had to own it. I had to own everything that came along with it. We all have free will to choose. And I made that choice. And I had to own that. And I had to own every consequence that happened as a result of me choosing,
Yeah.
me staying longer than I should have. And when it was time for me to go,
Hmm.
it just everything, I had to own it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that later on too, because October is breast cancer awareness
Yeah.
month, but it's also domestic violence awareness month. And
Hmm.
as a survivor, part of owning your truth was me having to go back and apologize to some people as well, because
Hmm.
I manifested some of those things that happen. Now, some people are going to disagree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you feel free to put your comments down there, and we're going to talk about that. Some people will say, "Well, I didn't ask for that." No, you might not have asked for the consequence that happened, but did you ask for the person
You ask for the person. Yeah.
or the job?
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Good stuff.
yes, that is really, really good. So, right about now, what we are going to do is we are going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Mhm.
House music. House music.
Oh, that made me so excited. I was
That
just,
made you excited. Well, I'm going to go ahead before, I mean, of course, we're going to get into the topic, which still surrounds Oprah. So we're going to, but before we do that, I'm going to let Brian kind of tell you why that made him so exciting. Start from the beginning.
oh. So, as I said earlier in the show, 4 months ago, well, back in April, I started Manifestation Week. The first week was Journal Week. And in that week, all I asked for everyone to do was to write down what they want in their life as if it was already happening. So it helps you get in the moment of, wait a minute, this feels good. And when it feels good, what you're writing, you're spelling. Okay.
Yes.
So you put it into the atmosphere. For those of you
Yes.
who talk about spelling and spells, you can do good spells, and that's what we're doing here, right? So you're spelling out what you want, you put it into the universe, into the atmosphere,
Let me
and then
let
you're
me hold on. Let me pause you right there.
Mhm.
When we all know that I'm going to ask you a question. We all know that when you're in elementary school, the first thing you learn to do is to put letters together so that you can do what? Spell.
Spell.
And
Hmm.
so many people associate spelling and the
Hmm.
word spell is two different things as they
Yeah,
associate it. And then they say it's something negative to use the word spell.
correct.
But I have no idea who gave us that connotation that to spell something is a bad thing.
Hmm.
It's just the power of the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Right.
Even in the biblical sense, it says you have the power of
Hmm.
life and death in your tongue.
Hmm.
So it's about what you say. So I
Hmm.
just wanted to hold you to that because that was a good point about us spelling something.
Right.
It's just to be able to cast the words out of your mouth.
Yeah, and that's it. Out of your mind, out of your mouth, and you're spelling it out. You're putting it out. But when you're doing that, you're feeling it. Because a lot of times people forget that manifestation is connected to your feelings. How do you feel? So if I'm sad, writing something exciting,
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to work. And so you're feeling it, you're excited about it, and then you put it away. And then I ask everybody to read it when you write it, and then read it again before you go to bed, because we also realize that's, and I didn't understand this for a long time. People say, don't watch certain things before you go to bed. Don't do certain things before you go to bed. Don't go to bed mad, right?
Yes.
So try to not watch TV right before bed. Try not to do certain things that is going to be implanted in your head unless it's something good. So read what you wrote earlier that day and feel it again and go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's the most powerful thing ever.
It is.
So that's what we were doing for the first week. And then the second week, it was something else. We'll get into that later. But I was doing that. I was writing, still doing it, feeling what I was writing. And sometimes I didn't have anything to say, but thank you, God. Or thank you. Or I'm a 7-figure earner. I wrote it 1,000,000 times. Whatever you feel, write it in your dream journal, but only positive things. So I wrote down in there one of the things which you just saw, that I'm just so excited, to drive up to my building with my name in my new car. And I get to walk in, I get to see my name on the building, and I get to meet different people that's going to come and have joyous occasions, memorable moments in my space. And, I started to talk about what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel. I'm going to have a prep kitchen for my chef friends who can come and cook their food or have cooking classes. And all these things I put into this journal, and I really forgot about it. I walked away from it. At the end of July, a friend of mine who is also my business partner in this business venture, he said, I found a place and I want you to come see it. And I said, okay. Because we had been looking, mind you, before the pandemic, before the Dream Journal Week, before I started doing manifestation, we started looking, but I didn't feel it. It just wasn't working. Everything was wrong. Pandemic happened. Everything stopped. Dream Journal Week happened. And here we go now, July of this year. Yeah. And so I went to go see it. The place was built in 1965. Was a church, red carpet, purple, lime green ceilings, and I walked around and said, no.
You did not say no. You said, no, ma'am.
I'm whipping up. This place is dirt. Who built this? Rosa Parks? Harriet and Kim up in here? It was horrible. And so I walked away from it, and he kept saying, I'm telling you, I feel it. This is right. And I had to remember, Brian, you ask the universe this, and sometimes how we do. Yeah. God gonna have to tell me. I asked for it. He giving it to me, and I'm like, But it was the easiest process. Let me tell you something. When God gives you something, when the universe connects you with what you want, it's easy. So whatever you're dealing with right now, whatever you have, if it's difficult, hard, if you have to, it takes an act of Congress to say no to that. Yeah. This was an easy process. And now today, Sunday will be the first event that's happening in Icon. And it doesn't look like 1965 no more. It doesn't look like Harriet was up in there just yesterday, telling the people. It's amazing. And I'm so grateful. People ask me, how do I feel? I'm like, I'm happy. But I don't think I really had the moment yet. I thought I was going to have it when I walked into it and it was done. But I think it's still surreal to me. Not saying I don't believe it, because it's happening. And it happened, but it's like, wow, this really, really works. And if you just give it a try, I promise it'll work for you too.
It really will. And it really does. I remember posting a video to you, and I was literally in tears because I had just written what I wanted the day before. And then it happened the next morning. Yes. And I had to call you, and I was like, oh my God, Brian, you're not going to believe this. And I literally was in tears because I could not believe how fast it manifested.
Yeah. And it's real. It's real. I wish I had my journal here. I'll show you guys next time. Because I write the dates, and then I begin writing.
Yeah.
So the dates are there, and I said at first I was like, I'm not gonna share this with anybody because this is my business. But I want you to understand that it is true, it's real.
Yeah.
And for those who want to get, spiritual me, please don't, but you can. It's in the Bible. It tells you that you can bring those things that are not into your life. And I'm paraphrasing, okay, so don't get me.
Speak those things that are not as though they were.
Yeah.
In the present.
Right.
As if you already have it.
And that's what Dream Journal is. That's what Dream Journal is. You're writing. And many people have many different journals, because I had one where today was a bad day and I wrote about it. Tomorrow was a good day and I wrote about it. Today was I'm not for sure day and I wrote about it. I wrote about people I didn't like. She makes me sick with whole. I wrote about it. And for me, I don't want that type of journal no more. So I actually threw that journal in the trash because I felt like I was confusing the universe and myself. So my journals for me are all positive, whether something happened good today or something I want to bring to my life. I'm writing as if it happened. And not only does it make you feel good, but it just makes life so much better. I promise, because it makes you look forward to something. Yeah. And believe it or not, you're going to work towards it when you think you are not working towards it. The universe is now connecting you to it. So you're going to start doing things different. You're going to start acting different. You're going to start meeting different people. Refer back to your journal and read it again, because that's all that the universe is doing.
It's funny you say that you're going to start acting different when you realize it. I'm going to read this really quick, and I want you to expound on this. This was an interview from a course called Influencer Interview, and Oprah Winfrey was the guest. And she was asked, basically, at what point did she start to realize that it was happening to a large extent, that she was in control of the dynamic of manifesting? And here's what she says. She says, I was at my farm in Indiana, and I was thinking, gee, I sure would like some tomato soup. Gosh, because it's a rainy day and it's, my God, I sure would like some tomato soup. And the caretaker, Miss Edens, who lived across the way, comes in with a pot of tomato soup. And I literally, it's one of those, what just happened? What made you do that? She goes, well, honey, I had these tomatoes and I had a lot of extra. So I thought maybe you'd like some tomato soup. And I made some sandwiches to go along with it. So I was like, wow, tomato soup. So I started trying it out with other things. Like, if you can get tomato soup like that, what else can I do? What else can I manifest? So I've seen it happen over and over and over again. And I actually have come to know that this whole planetary experience is just like a classroom. And you control a lot by your thoughts. And we control a lot by our joint thoughts, by what I believe and what you believe. And we come together as a community and what we believe. And then that's what shows up for us. Your thoughts on that?
The first thing that came to my mind is when we talk about cutting generational curses, because that's what it is for me. There are curses on many of us from years and years and years ago, and we have to learn how, as not just an individual, but as it was just said, as a community. I promise you. And that's one of the reasons why when I did Dream Journal Week or Manifestation Week, I did it with a lot of people, because I felt like the universe was just going to be like, wait a minute, hold on, all y'all asking for this at one time, I need to deliver. I need to go ahead and send that on down the pipeline. And so it starts with just breaking those old and bad cycles from years and years and years has been put on everyone, generations, and begin to change that to something positive, thinking positive, because it's true. I remember when I was in corporate America, I would say, I don't feel like going to work today. I'm sick. I was sick all of a sudden. And I'm like, no. I didn't want to be sick for real. I just told them I was sick, you see, so that I can stay in the bed a little bit late and then get up and go hang out with my friends, go to the mall. But I'm sick because I just spoke that into existence.
Yeah.
Just that simple. So, people are like, oh, shit, hypochondriac, whatever you want to call it. But you're speaking those negative things into your life, and that's why it's happening. Yeah.
You are. And I loved it too. When I read it, I kept saying, let me look back and realize when I actually was in the know that I was in control.
Right.
And I kept saying, let me go back and look at my resume. I had to do a resume for something. And as I was flipping through all the awards and all the documents and every job and every place I've ever lived, I could remember this one house that I was renting, and I rode through the neighborhood probably every day saying, I'm going to live here. I am going to live. I'm going to live here. And when it happened, I just remember being happy about it. But it wasn't until this moment, like you said, of coming into the realization of the meditation. It took me to go through something very traumatic to find myself spiritually and say, you know what? I did all of those things before as I was going through the resumes and everything. It can happen for me now, even after this traumatic experience. But now let me realize that I'm in control. And then I started, like you said, a muscle. I started exercising that. And then the more I woke up and I said, okay, I'm going to write in my journal how I want my day to go. I'm going to visualize how I want my day to go. And if it doesn't start to feel right, I can start over. I can go somewhere to a park and say, no, from this moment, I'm going to have an amazing day and I'm going to start over, And I realized exactly what she said. I've been doing it all along.
We all have.
I've been doing it all along.
We all have. We just didn't know how to really make it work for us. Because as you was saying that, I was thinking about, it was an apartment that I wanted years ago. I was probably in my 20s. My credit was jacked up. I did everything my daddy told me not to do, and that's get them credit cards in college and not pay them. For some reason in my mind, I felt like it's just going to disappear. Like, who's going to know that I actually ran on my credit card? So I messed up my credit, right? And I wanted this apartment so bad, and I knew that I did not have the credit for it. I knew that I had some things on there that could prevent me from not getting it. And I remember my cousin, she told me that she saw a house, like you just spoke about, for her and her husband. And she said, I used to go over there every day, and I used to touch the house, touch it, pray on it, touch it, pray on it, and we was approved. So wait a minute. Didn't know anything about what she was talking about, but I'm like, if it worked for her, then Lord, I know it's going to work for me. So I'm going to do it. It was people still living in this apartment, but after work, I would go and I'll put my hand on, like, Lord, I thank you for this apartment. And I'll walk away very quietly, and hopefully nobody would come and say, what are you doing in my apartment? But I got it. I got the apartment, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, how did that happen? Because I still didn't know. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it meant. But just think, if everybody thought that way, what type of world we'll be in right now?
Man, let me tell you something. You speak about houses. Look at this house. Now, this is Oprah's house. This is Oprah's house right here. And when I think about that, I think about she probably never, ever, ever imagined, growing up that she.
Coming from where she came from.
Yes.
I saw some pictures that she, shown years ago from when she was a little girl. And they were like hut houses.
Yeah.
And now you have a whole, situation, a whole compound, but she believed she could. She dreamt it. Yeah. She spoke it. Yeah. And then, everybody's going to have their opinions about people.
Yeah.
But she's also been good to people.
Yes, she has. Yes,
so you just don't ask the universe and God for things to come into your life and just hold on to it. Because when I do these things, I write in there on how I'm going to help people, how I'm going to give back, How am I going to take my friends on a trip and they don't have to pay for the flights
Yeah.
and the stay and the chefs and all of these things? So it's not just about me. I want to make that very, very clear because I don't think we've said that.
Yeah.
It's not always just about you.
That's right.
Sometimes God and the universe wants to know, what are you going to do for somebody else? If I bless you with millions, you're going to keep it to yourself. What are you going to do with it? So again, when you're bringing in manifestation, be clear on what you want and what you're going to do with it. And that's just,
Yeah. We're going to talk more about clarity. I remember taking a picture, speaking of houses. I remember putting in my little vision book. Matter of fact, I have it right here. I just change the pictures out every year. But I have this one that says, make things happen. Make things happen. And it's full of pictures, and this is my journal, of course. Make things happen. And I had this picture of this house. And it just was a house I saw in my dreams. And I was like, oh, I want the staircase to be like this and the staircase to be like that. And I remember I got a call, but I wasn't specific. So I remember I got a call to be on set of Dynasty. Never saw the new Dynasty. Wasn't even interested in watching the new Dynasty. And I was being featured as a massage therapist for one of the scenes. And so I said, okay, I'll take the little gig. And I remember being outside of the waiting area before it was time for me to go in. And I stepped into this foyer, and it was inside the studio. It wasn't exactly the house, but I just remember going back to the picture, and I was like, oh my God, I had the picture on my phone, and I was tapping the guy next to me, and I was like, that's my house. That's my house. And he was like, no, that's not your house. That house is in such a part of Georgia, and it's an actual house. And I was like, I didn't even know it because I didn't watch the show, but just the feeling of being in there, and I walked in and I saw the staircase, and, and I was in my role, and I kept saying, okay, it's getting closer. It's those little tidbits that says it's going to happen. It may not happen today or tomorrow, but I'm going to stand on it that it's going to happen, because this was a sign to tell me I'm on to something. But I agree with you. You have to be specific, because I said that I was going to be standing in the foyer of the house, but I didn't say that it was my house that I lived in.
You have to be very, very clear. I'm talking about details. So if you roll one line,
I did. That was all I wrote.
It's going to come. But how it's going to come, it depends on how this later universe want to give it to you. You got to be clear. You have to be clear. When you, it's like placing an order. When you place your order for your food, you're very clear on what you want on your burger. You clear on what you don't want. You clear on how you want it, and all of a sudden cut it in half. Like, I'm not going to eat the whole burger, but I'm very clear on what I want, and it comes, Lord, sometimes depending on where you go, the right way.
Okay.
Yeah, got to be clear.
So we're going to go into, this is a moment with a seer.
Yeah.
And basically in this moment right here, this is where I talk about maybe a question you have. And once you ask that question, or you put that question below, if you're on YouTube, and you just ask your questions about manifestation, the universe, life coaching, this is the point where I just answer those questions for you. However, since we're on Oprah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead on and show you this quote that rang out to me. And the quote says, anything you can imagine, you can create. And I love, 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 love this quote, because it sums up everything that we were talking about. It sums up everything that this show is about. Imagination is the key. It's the reason why I named my life coaching business Renewed Mind, because coming out of certain situations, you have to renew your mind. And I just want to take this 1 minute to just say to you, if you can imagine it, it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's not. And I have to go back to the biblical sense, because that's something you were taught as a kid. And it says, think those things that are not as though they were.
Mhm.
Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So it tells you that everything starts with a thought. It's your thought process.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And once we come back, Brian is going to tell you what you need to have to kick off. This show is just about us introducing ourselves. But next week, it's all about you. So you're going to have to get your journals ready. But we're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to show you that beautiful building again called Icon. Where's Icon?
Icon is located at 3110 East Ponce de Leon Avenue in Scottsdale, Georgia, 379
And those decorations that you see, I'm sorry, the designs that you see from different events, they were done by the celebrity event planner himself, Mr.
And I gotta say, it's not just me. There's a many, many, many people. I work with some amazing people that can create and bring out my vision because I can't do it all by myself. That's how I accomplish my goals, by working with people and allowing other people to work with me. So it's an army of us.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yes.
House music. House music.
Hey, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
See, I was looking for the countdown that time.
Oh, well, this was just a quick break because we're winding down and we're running out of time.
Yo.
Yes. But this is a quick break. But I've enjoyed this. And
Yes.
so if you can tell us about what a manifestation journal is really quick and why everyone needs to have one by the next show, or if you have something they need to do before next Friday's show.
So before next Friday, I definitely want you to get a journal, a new journal, not something that you've already written in, not something that you've torn pages out of, a new journal. If you have Florida water, if you have anointing oil, anointed, make sure that it's clean, make sure it's fresh, make sure it's fresh from all negativity.
Sage.
And sage, if you have sage, just make sure all negativity is off of it. Because remember, anything you purchase, someone has touched it before you, and you don't know where their spirit is, was, or going. Okay, so make sure it's clean. Have a good writing pen, and be open and ready to listen and to absorb. Because I'm going to teach you anything and everything that I know. They have helped me, a seer, and many other people who have taken Dream Journal Week already, but just come in a positive space. Be ready to receive what's going to be given. And I promise you, if you take it, absorb it, it's going to work for you. And I want to hear all along the way. And I'll tell you how to do that, Friday, how to let me know what you have going on. I promise I'm going to support you throughout the way.
Yes. And keep in mind, just remember, like if it's something that has an inspirational quote on it, like this one says, with God, all things are possible. Because when I see that, the first thing I say is all things are possible. So you can also go on Amazon and you can purchase one of my that just came out, manifestation journals. It comes in gray. It comes in turquoise, and it also comes in a kind of brownish goldish color. The gray and the brownish goldish color will be available in about a week. And so they're only $8. I do a little preface in it to kind of talk about it, but it's the whole line is called If You See It, Co-Create It. So basically that's just saying if you can visualize it, what's stopping you from co-create it? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so that is the journal. I'll have some for you next week to show on the show.
Yeah.
But they're $8. Get your journal, get ready, and let's do this.
Yeah.
And let's do this. We want to invite you to share this, like, subscribe. In between the shows, we're going to either Brian is going to give you a tidbit to keep you encouraged, or I may upload something to keep you encouraged, to answer your questions. We may show you certain things that will help you on this journey. Make sure you also tell someone about the podcast. We're on all podcasting stations. Own Your Truth, as you can see right here above where my hand is. Own Your Truth. And yeah, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to hear everyone's stories of, how they just manifested their best life
Yes. That's what it's about.
ever.
Yeah.
Once again, we want to thank you for tuning in with us. I am the real Asir, known as Dr. Asir. And this is the wonderful, the fabulous, my friend. I'm so glad that we connected.
Yes.
Celebrity event planner, Brian Keith, whom I love dearly. And we hope to invite you to be a part of our family through this journey. So
Absolutely.
we are going to, any final thoughts, Brian?
Whatever day you watch this, just make sure that you're watching it in a positive light. And when you leave free. Leave free knowing that your life starts now. It starts new. It starts fresh. Every time you hear us, I just hope that we're going to give you something that you can go in the world, and together we hope and we pray that we can change the world together. We're world changers.
Yes, we are.
It's going to be so.
Yes, we are. All right. See you guys later. And thank you for tuning in to Own Your Truth. Same time next week. See you soon. Good night.